Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we actually have another question for the channel. This was actually this general question. It wasn't asked like this, but I'm kind of cleaning it up a little bit. Was asked to me by a guy actually, and it was in reference to the concept of a person making a certain amount of money and living a certain type of lifestyle, or I should say like a baller lifestyle or a high-end lifestyle. Can you do that on a certain amount of income? So I'm gonna break down a general income amount and kind of dive into the question with that income amount. So can an average guy who makes, we'll say, $70,000 to $100,000 a year in a big city, or if you live in a small city, the equivalent may be about $45,000 to $50,000. Could you be a baller and have a grand life, or how would that work? Like, can you have, like, meaning, can you be splurging all your money and still build up to have like this life where you have a lot of saved up money, able to invest, able to really develop yourself financially for security for the long-term future? Can you do both? And essentially the answer is no. And he can pretty much do either one or the other in the beginning. This is why it's important, where if you're young and you're, say, in your 20s, you want to spend most of your time not going on vacation, not doing all this kind of spending random stuff like that. You want to if you're trying to live that life, have the both. You want to, in the beginning, pay yourself first. You save up, and once you establish by buying the house, and once again, if you check in some past videos inside my channel, I go into money management, and I dive into that a little bit deeper. But I would suggest, if you're gonna buy the house and you're still, you're not married, you're not with kids, this and that, even if you are married and you got kids, you buy a house, buy a multifamily house if you can, or if you're in a small town where that single family home can be rented out and you're making a profit on it. And I broke that down, like I said, in another video of money management. But the long short of it, if you're able to do that, you invest in stocks, this and that, whatever the case is, what you do is you get your money ready to know that you have a kind of retirement set up, whether you have a job that has it incorporated, where you don't. Get yourself a multifamily house or something to invest in, so that way you're bringing in additional income, or maybe you're not even paying for your own living now because of that rent that you're collecting, or multiple properties that you have that are collecting rent. And I break down how that's not really that hard to do either over the course of the years, because a lot of us spend a lot of money wasted on trips, going out, clubs, partying, all this other kind of stuff. Stop doing that. If you're gonna do it, pay yourself first. Whatever the amount is, pay like half of your check to yourself first in a savings account, and then do the rest as whatever you got to get by. But that's for another time in terms of money management, or look at my past videos. But anyway, as I digress, so establish those things first. And say if you're about maybe somewhere between 22 and 24 years old, you start your career job. Take the next 5 years to build all those things. So stop with the party life, build it. You don't have to stop if you don't want to do this, but it is just answering the question: can you be that baller type and then still build for the future and have that grand life down the future? What you have to do, I should say, not to say stop doing it, what you have to do is take those 5 years from maybe 22 to 24, tack on another 5 years, so maybe you'll be 27 or 29, and just build in that time. Just save all your money, save a lot of your money, buy a multifamily house, rent out most of it. If you're in a big city, probably a multifamily house. If you're in a small town, you probably can get away with a single family home. You rent it out. Now you have a place to live. If you're in a multifamily house, maybe you're in the basement, whatever the case is. But I'm digressing here. Or you buy yourself a new car, so you have that. over the course of those 5 years. You put away some money for investments too, get into maybe some stocks, some indexes, and whatever the case is. I have that on the channel as well if you want to look back on that kind of stuff. And essentially, after that 5 years time, when you build, you got a little stable cushion of like, cool, maybe you have a house, you're living on one of the floors, you're renting out the other ones, or you're living in the basement and the rest of the floors are paying out all the rent, all the mortgage. You got yourself a nice car. You don't need to buy a new car every year. Just keep it in clean condition. If it gets damaged, there's insurance for that. Make sure you fix everything. And then at that point, after that 5-year mark, you're 27, you're 29 years old, you have a shiny, nice looking car. You've got yourself a house already. You've got some investments. Now, and this is where the key that people don't understand, you're still young. You might think as a man that, oh, like when you're 22, yeah, but I don't want to wait that long because I'm going to be old. No, I can tell you from once you start hitting in the upper ages of 40 and 50 and whatnot, you would look back at your 30-year-old self or like late 20-year-old self and say, I'm still young. But if you have everything by the time, now you can do the whole baller life. Now you go spend your money because you already have investments for your retirement. You already have a house which is appreciating in value and making rent on it to help you with your expenses for your own living. So you already have a nice car. So with that being said, you don't have to now put away no money for other expenses. You can, if you want, stop progressing at that point. I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to stop progressing at that point because you already have a little cushion in nest egg, you can now ball out. And that's how that's done. So in quick answer to the question, can you, as an average guy making 70 to 100,000, or if you're in a small town, that's for a big city, if you're in a small town, make $45,000 or $50,000, can you, be a baller type and still have the grand life at the end? No, you can't. But if you do it this way, you can. And that's the long and short of that. And if you guys got any questions, leave them down below into the comment section. If you want to know more in detail about how to get there, you could look at my past videos. But if you don't want to and you want to just ask the question, hey, how do I get there? You could just ask it again. I will do a whole nother video on that subject. Maybe not as long as I did before, but just briefly touching on the aspects that you want to know in terms of developing that life, because it really is a lot easier than what we think. A lot of us just blow a lot of money over time and we never end up putting away and saving. And there's a new generation of life where we actually have to do things differently. We can't do it the way we were taught it is in the old days, where you just, hey, you got a nice job and automatically everything comes to you. Now, sometimes we got to put away about a good 3 to 5 years of our life just saving money and investing, so that way we can live the rest of our life, the rest of the 25, 30 years of still being young, to go have fun. All right, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video.